There is something deeply powerful about the moments just before you fall asleep. It is not just another part of your day, it is a doorway. All day long, your mind is busy, distracted, pulled in different directions by noise, responsibilities, and doubt. But at night, something shifts. The world becomes quiet, and more importantly, your mind becomes still. In that stillness, you are no longer fighting with thoughts, you are influencing them. Understand this, the state you enter before sleep is not ordinary. It is the border between the conscious and the subconscious. And the subconscious does not question, it does not argue, it simply accepts. Whatever you impress upon it in this softened, relaxed state begins to take root. This is why what you think and feel at night carries far more power than what you repeat throughout the day without emotion. Most people fall asleep in worry. They replay problems, fears, and disappointments, and then they wonder why tomorrow looks the same as today. But the truth is simple. What you carry into sleep, you carry into reality. The night mind does not filter, it creates. So if you go to sleep feeling lack, you will wake up to more of it. If you fall asleep in doubt, you will rise into more confusion. But imagine reversing this process. Imagine lying down, letting your body relax, and instead of drifting into random thoughts, you deliberately choose your inner experience. You begin to see what you desire as if it is already done, not forcing it, not struggling, but gently accepting it as real. You feel the relief of it, the satisfaction, the quiet certainty. In that moment you are no longer wishing, you are becoming. This is the secret of the night mind. It is not about effort, it is about impression. You are planting a seed in the most fertile ground of your being. And seeds do not grow because you check them every second. They grow because they have been planted correctly and left undisturbed. When you understand this, your nights will change. You will stop treating sleep as an escape and start using it as a creation point. You will become more aware of the thoughts you allow in those final moments. You will choose them carefully, because you will know that they are shaping your tomorrow. Do not underestimate how powerful this is. A single night of focused intention, felt deeply and naturally, can begin a shift. Not because something outside of you suddenly changes, but because you have changed the inner pattern. And once the inner pattern changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. So tonight, do not just go to sleep, enter it with purpose. Let your mind settle, choose your reality, feel it as true, and carry that feeling into rest. Because what you impress upon your mind tonight will begin to reveal itself tomorrow. Now that you understand the power of the night mind, you must also understand this power without direction creates nothing. It is not enough to simply feel good before sleep or to vaguely wish for a better life. The universe, or rather the deeper part of your own being, responds to precision. It responds to clarity. If your desire is unclear, the result will be unclear. Most people say they want success, but what is success? They say they want money, but how much? They say they want happiness, yet they cannot describe what that happiness looks or feels like. And so what they impress upon their mind is confusion. And confusion can only produce more confusion. You must be definite. When you prepare your mind at night, do not approach it with scattered thoughts. Do not say, I just want things to get better. Instead, bring your desire into a clear and simple form. See it as something already completed. Not in the distant future, not as a possibility, but as a present fact. If it is financial freedom you seek, then do not imagine the struggle of getting there. Imagine the result. See the number in your account. Feel the relief of having more than enough. Experience the ease of paying for what you desire without hesitation. Make it real, make it specific, and most importantly, make it natural. If it is an opportunity you want, then define it. What does that opportunity look like? Where are you? Who is involved? What is being said? The more clearly you define it, the more deeply it can be impressed upon your subconscious. And once impressed, it begins to organize everything within you to bring it into expression. Understand, you are not asking for something outside of you to decide your fate. You are deciding within yourself what must be expressed. The clearer the decision, the more direct the path. Clarity removes resistance. When you know exactly what you want, your mind no longer wanders. It no longer questions. It moves with certainty. And certainty is the language through which manifestation operates. Do not complicate this process. You are not required to imagine every step or figure out how it will happen. Your only task is to define the end. The how does not belong to you. It unfolds naturally once the what is fixed in your mind. So each night before you drift into sleep, take a moment and ask yourself one simple question. What is it that I truly want to experience? Not what others expect of you, not what seems realistic, but what you genuinely desire. Then take that answer and shape it into a single clear scene. Something short, something vivid, something you can feel as real. Hold that scene gently. Do not strain, do not force it. Just return to it again and again until it feels familiar, until it feels like a memory rather than a wish. Because the moment it feels natural, it is no longer something you are hoping for, it is something you have accepted. And what you accept as true within must appear without. Now, once your desire is clear, there is something even more essential than the image itself, and that is the feeling that accompanies it. Many believe that simply thinking about what they want is enough, but thought alone is not the creative force. It is the feeling behind the thought that gives it life, that gives it substance, that impresses it upon the deeper mind. You must understand this clearly. Your subconscious does not respond to words or images as such, it responds to what those words and images make you feel. If you imagine wealth but feel doubt, it is doubt that is impressed. If you picture success but feel unworthy, it is that unworthiness that takes root. So the question is not merely what you see, but what you feel as you see it. This is why you must go beyond imagining and begin experiencing. When you lie down at night and bring your desire into your mind, do not look at it as something distant, something separate from you. Do not stand outside of it as an observer. Step into it. Become the one who already has it. See through your own eyes, not as someone hoping, but as someone who has already received. If it is the feeling of success you seek, then feel the satisfaction of having accomplished it. Feel the quiet confidence, the sense of completion, the natural ease that comes when something is already yours. If it is love you desire, then feel the warmth, the connection, the comfort of it. Let it surround you, let it fill you, until there is no space left for longing. You are not pretending. You are not trying to convince yourself. You are simply allowing yourself to experience a state that already exists within you. And the moment you fully enter that feeling, even for a short time, something shifts. It becomes real. Not in the outer world yet, but in the only place where reality must first begin. Do not rush this. Do not treat it as a task to complete. Let it be natural, almost effortless. If the feeling is not there at first, gently return to your scene. Refine it, simplify it, make it more vivid, more personal. And as you do, allow the feeling to rise on its own. You will know when it is right because it will feel calm. It will not feel forced or intense. It will feel like a quiet knowing, a subtle satisfaction, as though what you desire is no longer something you are chasing, but something you have already embraced. And then carry that feeling into sleep. Do not let it fade the moment you close your eyes. Hold on to it gently, without strain, as you drift deeper into rest, because in that state the feeling sinks into your subconscious without resistance. It becomes a part of you. And once it becomes a part of you, it must find expression in your world. This is the secret so many overlook. They focus on the image, the technique, the repetition, but they forget the feeling. And without feeling, there is no transformation. So tonight, as you enter that quiet state before sleep, do not just see your desire, feel it. Let it become so natural, so real within you, that there is nothing left to hope for. Because when it feels like it is already yours, it already is. As you begin to feel your desire as already real, there is another element that quietly amplifies everything you are doing, and that is gratitude. Not as a ritual, not as empty words you repeat, but as a genuine state of appreciation that shifts your entire inner atmosphere. Most people approach their desires from a place of wanting. They ask, they hope, they wait. And hidden beneath all of that is a subtle feeling of lack, a sense that something is missing. But when you come from that state, you are not creating fulfillment, you are continuing the experience of not having. This is why gratitude is so powerful, because it dissolves that feeling of lack and replaces it with completeness. Gratitude is not something you apply after you receive. It is something you embody before anything appears. It is the recognition, the quiet acceptance, that what you desire is already yours on a deeper level. And when you feel grateful, truly grateful, you are no longer asking, you are acknowledging. Think about it. When do you naturally feel gratitude? It is always after something has been given, after something has been received. So when you allow yourself to feel gratitude before sleep, you are placing yourself in the position of already having. You are aligning your inner world with the end you wish to experience. This is not about forcing yourself to be thankful for things you do not believe in. It is about gently shifting your attention. Begin with what is already present in your life. Something simple, something real. The fact that you are here, that you are aware, that you have another night to create anew. Let that feeling of appreciation grow, naturally and without effort. And then from that state, bring your desire into your awareness. But now do not approach it as something distant. Approach it with the same gratitude you would feel if it had already happened. Let your mind say thank you, not as a request, but as a recognition. You will notice something begins to change. The tension disappears. The neediness fades. There is a softness, a calm certainty that replaces the restless wanting. And in that state, your mind becomes open, receptive, and deeply impressionable. Gratitude raises your state of being. It lifts you out of doubt and into trust. It allows you to rest in the feeling that everything is already unfolding in your favor, even if you cannot yet see it. And when you rest in that feeling, you stop interfering with the process. Do not underestimate this shift. A grateful mind does not chase, it attracts. It does not question, it accepts. And what is accepted inwardly must eventually take form outwardly. So as you prepare to sleep tonight, take a moment to feel thankful, not just for what you have, but for what you have already claimed within yourself. Let that gratitude fill your thoughts, soften your body, and quiet your mind. And as you drift into sleep, remain in that gentle awareness of appreciation, as though everything you desire has already been given. Because when gratitude becomes your state, receiving becomes your reality. As you rest in that feeling of gratitude, there is one more subtle but essential movement taking place within you. And that is the way you speak your desire, whether in words or in silent inner conversation. For every desire you hold is shaped and reinforced by the dialogue you maintain within yourself. And this inner dialogue, more than any outward action, reveals what you truly believe. Many speak of what they want, yet within themselves they contradict it. They say it will happen, but feel it probably won't. They affirm success, yet inwardly question their worth. And it is not the words they speak lightly that take root, it is the belief carried beneath them. So you must become aware of how you are speaking within. When you bring your desire into your awareness at night, let your words, whether spoken or silent, arise from conviction. Not from effort, not from repetition alone, but from a quiet knowing. You are not trying to persuade something outside of you. You are simply expressing what you have already accepted as true. There is a difference between saying something and declaring it. A statement can be empty, but a declaration carries weight. It carries certainty. When you declare inwardly, "This is mine," it is not a wish, it is a decision. And the mind responds to decision with movement. Do not fall into the habit of mechanical repetition. Words repeated without feeling become noise, but a single phrase felt deeply and spoken with belief can penetrate far more powerfully than endless affirmations spoken in doubt. If you choose to use words, let them be simple and natural. Something that feels real to you. Something you can say without resistance. It may be as quiet as "it is done," or "I am grateful it is already mine." The exact words matter far less than the state from which they are spoken. And if words do not come naturally, then allow your feeling to speak for you. The mind does not require language when the feeling is clear. In fact, the deepest impressions are often made in silence, where there is no effort to explain, only a knowing. Be mindful also of what follows after. Many impress their desire in a moment of focus, and then undo it with doubt the very next thought. They plant the seed and then dig it up with questions like, "How will this happen?" or "What if it doesn't?" But understand this, once you have spoken with belief, once you have felt it as true, your work in that moment is complete. You are not required to reinforce it with worry. You are not required to protect it with constant effort. You are only required to remain faithful to what you have accepted. So let your inner speech become aligned with your desire. Let it reflect the reality you have chosen, not the circumstances you are trying to leave behind. Speak from the end, not toward it. And as you do, you will notice a shift. Your words will no longer feel like attempts. They will feel like confirmations. Your thoughts will no longer wander. They will settle into certainty. Because when belief enters your words, they are no longer just sounds or thoughts. They become truth in motion. Now you have clarified your desire. felt it as already yours, expressed it with belief, and filled your mind with gratitude. There is one final step, and it is perhaps the most important of all, the act of letting go. Most people carry their desire with them into sleep, but they clutch it tightly, worry over it, examine it, and question it. And in doing so, they block the very thing they are asking for. The universe does not respond to effort, it responds to acceptance. Your task is not to force it into existence, but to allow it to flow naturally. To let go is not to forget your desire. It is not to abandon it or diminish its importance. It is to rest in the certainty that it is already done. You have planted the seed in your night mind, watered it with feeling, and strengthened it with belief. Now you must release it from your conscious effort and allow it to grow unseen. Like a tree planted in fertile soil, it does not need your constant tending. It only needs your faith that what you have impressed upon it will manifest in its proper time. So many struggle with impatience. They think they must control every step, examine every sign, and make sure the process is moving according to plan. But creation does not obey schedules, it obeys the inner state from which it arises. Once you have impressed your desire upon your mind and felt it as real, your responsibility is complete. The rest is effortless. It unfolds without your interference, and often in ways far more perfect than you imagined. Letting go also means trusting in yourself and the life you are living. It is the acknowledgement that your inner world is the only reality that creates the outer world. You do not need to manipulate circumstances, plead for outcomes, or chase results. The moment you release control, the world begins to rearrange itself in accordance with the state you have assumed. All the pieces align quietly, often in ways invisible to you, until one day it appears fully formed. And when it does, you will recognize it not as a coincidence, but as the natural outcome of your inner work. Do not misunderstand this act of release as passivity. It is the most active form of creation there is. You are actively maintaining the inner reality of your desire while simultaneously refraining from interference. It is a delicate balance, holding your vision without grasping, feeling your desire without anxiety, resting in faith without doubt. And the beauty of it is that in this state, life itself becomes your collaborator. Every circumstance, every encounter, every opportunity begins to conspire on your behalf, guided by the certainty you have impressed upon your inner world. As you prepare to sleep tonight, carry this understanding gently into your mind. See your desire clearly, feel it as real, express it with confidence, and then, without tension, release it. Allow yourself to rest in the quiet assurance that what you have imagined and felt must manifest. Let your night be undisturbed, your heart be calm, and your mind be free. Because when you let go and trust completely, what is yours will find its way to you.